Okay, so for the ones that had the question about the site, what I mean is that let's say that you have a bubble diagram, okay? And you have some relations between components and some are stronger, some are weaker, and then you are kind of thinking about areas like, let's say, public and then private and then services, and how do they relate to each other. You can even go further and think about, main entrance and then service entrance and then, like administration entrance, and even go beyond that. And in the public, when you have, let's say, other components that are kind of here, you'll say, I want the connection to the outdoor, okay, here, because I have a cafe area or I have a lounge and I want to extend it. Okay, so it's a very kind of first approach. And again, it's a very abstract thing. Then what I need you to think when we talk about the site plan, okay, you have this overall idea, but then in the site we have roads, we have the sun, we have the wind, we have the views, we have the geography. So I want you to be able, when you draw something, so if this is the boundary of your site and you have a road, let's say from this side or that side, I wanted to be able to grab this kind of first approach bubble diagram and kind of thinking how you can transport it here. If you already have an idea of a shape, let's say here or there or there or here, you can already try to do a mass of the building. I think it's important to think about the area. When we are doing a bubble diagram, you can do it with or without considering the area. I think it's better to always, try to consider, because what happens is when you don't consider, many times when you then try to do the building, then it doesn't work because you are not sure about the area of each component. So if you are already using some ideas about the area, then it will be easier to reach to the site and have this relationship. Now, what do I mean with the site plan? When we talk about, so if the cars are moving here and if there's nothing there, of course, then there are only two sides where I can do the entrance. Do I have existing entrances? Do I want to stay with them? Do I want to change them? Are they going to be located, let's say, in the boundaries? Are they going to be more like towards the middle? This will depend also in the shape and then the location of the parking. So am I going to do the entrance here and then have to go around to find the parking somewhere else? Or am I having the entrance for, let's say, and then some parking here and then another entrance, some parking there? Will you have staff and you'll have public? Is the parking the same for both? Should I make independent things, different things for both of them? Should I have like one for public and another for service? And when I think about the components, when I'm putting the private area, that private area, it's more towards the private entrance for staff, and then the public area, it's more towards the public entrance for everyone to use. Then if I'm having, let's say, the best views from this side, should I place my parking here, or actually the parking should be in the back so I can emphasize this with my building? Okay, so then what do I do regarding the views and the location of the things? The same thing. If the best view is here, should I place, the service area in this location? That's why it's important to ask questions and then find the answers for them. Now, if it's not for the views, or if it's not for the roads, or even the parking location, what about the sun and the wind? If the west wind that I have, it's coming somewhere in this direction, and all the public outdoor areas are here, does it make sense? Shouldn't I, mirror and flip and actually have that area happening there because I want to benefit from the wind? But at the same time, if the solar path is somehow going like this from this side, okay, should I place my building I think it's difficult to understand like this, but if the solar path is something like this, let's say if the shape of my building is doing something like that, I'm exposing all this middle part to that sun. But if for in the contrary, if the sun path is something like this and my building is somehow like this, with the shape of my building, I'm already providing here some shade. So when the sun goes like this, I'm shading this area and providing some area. Of course, you cannot think about the sun alone. You should think about the sun and the wind together to find the best solution. If you are doing this based on decisions of the site, then at the end, you are going to have, a good design, because you are going to cover all the constraints and answer and find the best answers and solutions for whatever it's there available on the site. Okay, so I want you to see doing, let me just create another one. So to go even further, because it's full of, and you are not going to understand anything about that. So let's say that I have something like this, another different thing, or like that. I would like you to be able to, even if with bubbles or just circles, let's say I want my public place to be here. Okay, so public will be here, and my public parking will be there, and my extension for public activities will be somewhere in this area. And you can use arrows to indicate circulation. You can have different colors, so let's say cars, and then you can have another one for buses, and here it could be for pedestrians. Okay, and you can try to do this, and this could be just for the outdoor, and then you can do the same and even try between the components for the pedestrians. How does it work indoor? Okay, the same thing, you can use arrows. Let's say that here you have some exhibition area, and you have like the sea in the side, and you want like a view or a frame. You can do that. You can, like do something like this. You can even draw like an eye, that we can understand that you are actually trying to achieve that particular view, that it's in that spot. Okay, so again, different ways then you can, do dots in a specific area, saying that there is an activity like an outdoor amphitheater. It's going to happen in this particular location for the public to use. And then you can also say or think, okay, I have a sidewalk. Will I continue to have the sidewalk? Am I going to interrupt that sidewalk because I'm going to have entrances for the parking? Am I going to make it larger? Am I going to incorporate more vegetation? Maybe I don't want a fence, or I don't need it, but maybe I want more like a garden or a welcoming space, or I don't want any garden or vegetation. I want an approach that it's more like physical. Maybe I want to provide like a ramp or a staircase for people to go up, like the example that you have there in the museum, and then the building will stay like in a platform. Okay, so think about this type of things, and then when you reach to the last point, that it's the site plan, try as much as you can to try to relate the abstract ideas that you have then now into a specific area and place in your site. If you are able to do this, then it will be perfect, because the next step, the next task, the second task, is going to go deeply into the program and the zoning and the building within the site and within the plans. So this will be very helpful for you. Okay? If you have any more questions, just ask me, and I'll try as much as I can to reply, or even do some small videos to explain how does it work. Okay? Thank you.